Smitty, back with another one, man. And it's the last day of the year, December 31st, 2022. And you know I had to bring you the year-end wrap-up. Now, we've only been doing this podcast for 2 years, but somehow we have 3 wrap-ups. It's all about the timing in which we started. Like, I started in November, so we had a wrap-up real fast, but we didn't get to the 3rd November for the 3 years, but we got to, it's a lot. It makes sense, though. It makes sense if you backtrack and look at it. But either way, this is our 3rd wrap-up, man. We did a 2021, 2021 one. It's a lot of ones there. And then a 2020, this is 2022. The math makes sense. And each year you can just see, we might do a compilation of these episodes. Did you go back and listen to all the wrap up episodes? You could really see where, like, one, I'm growing like something crazy, and God is moving in my life, and God has spared me from a lot, man. I done had COVID like 2 times, maybe 3, and it just didn't know it. It's a lot of different things that have happened, but for that, go back and listen to those episodes. But for this year, listen to this one, man. So let's start it from the top of the year. Top of the year, I was locked in. I was focused. I was like in one of the best places I felt in a long time, man. Like, you get that beginning of the year energy. So I was out here, like, I was in the gym consistent. I was like good mentally. I was in my zone. You feel me? Like, I was locked in. I was losing weight. Everything was happening. Like, everything in my life was moving the way it should. And then, the enemy was like, no, boom, stop it. And I went through a situation, like, it was just a lot of pain. It was a very traumatic situation I went through in the beginning of the year. We may do an episode on it. I don't know. Still figuring that out. But I went through a very traumatic situation in the beginning of the year, and it was around February, February is a crazy month for me, but it was around February, and that just threw me off. And it threw me off in a way that it can't throw me off now, because I have the supports now. And we'll get into that too, because now that I'm going to therapy, I'm healing, I'm doing a lot of different things. When situations like that happen in my life, when there's attacks, when there's trauma, when there's ups and downs and everything in between, and a lot going on in life, I know how to navigate it and maneuver through it better, and not let it knock me off of my mission, my goal, my objective, and where I'm trying to get to and what my purpose is. Before, when I didn't have that in place, any little thing that would happen in my life would throw me off. I'm in a depression. I'm sad. Like, I'm figuring it out. And then it just knocks me off my game. And at that point, anything big could knock me off my game. And now that's not the case. You feel me? I'm so much further than I was in February. It's crazy. Like, it's 2 different people. Like, from the beginning of the year to who I am now, it's like I'm an entirely different man. I tweeted earlier today. It took me 29 years to find peace, and I've been a force ever since, man. And like, I'm in such an amazing place where I know what true peace is. And once you find that for yourself, what the force you become is crazy. So yeah, no, that was the beginning of my year, was navigating through all of that, man. It was a lot, but navigating into that, it keeps building, right? It keeps building. So then that was February. March, in obedience to what I heard from God, I gave my car away. And there's an episode on that too. You could tap in and listen to it. A lot of people saw that one and it was like, Jordan, wait, hold on now. Hold on. You gave your car away? Yeah. Why? God told me to. Really? Yeah. He would do that? Yeah. Like, you got paid for it though, right? No, that's not giving it away. Like, people don't understand the meaning of give it away. Like, I had it. I signed the papers, gave them the title. It's not my car no more. Like, I gave it away. So yeah, that happened. And I've been without a car since, but like, I haven't needed a car. Like, everywhere I need to go, I get there. Like, it hasn't hindered my life in any way. And I thought it would, man. What? Because the amount of work I put in to get that car, y'all know my Pinkberry story, man. I was walking through the bushes and taking trains, and I got stung by a bee in my eye the first day of work trying to go to Pinkberry. It was a lot. So the work I put in to get that car, it was like a symbol of my efforts. And to give it away, it's like, dang, I put in mad work to get it, to just give it away for nothing. But it wasn't for nothing. It was for obedience. So yeah, tap in. So moving forward with that was March. April rolls around, and in a continued stance of obedience, I left my job. You feel me? I left my job. I was, like I've said it many a times on here, I was making the most money I ever made. It was a great title. Like it was dope. And I was doing good things. I was working with kids. I was a youth director and it was fun. I still miss them kids, man. I wake up and I'll be like, dang, I wonder how they doing. Like I see why teachers and like people that in that profession get so like locked in, bro, even though you're not getting paid enough, but like you can't stop because it's like you build these connections and you're molding these lives. But something just, it was always that little piece that was missing. And it's like, as much as I love this, as much as I'm really good at this, this isn't where it's not where I'm supposed to be forever. And that little piece called purpose just kept pulling on me. And it's like, I'm good at this, but it's not my purpose. And that really trips people up because you could be really good at something, but it's not your purpose. And it's confusing navigating, figuring that out, but getting God's word, you'll figure that out. And so it just kept pulling on me. I never felt satisfied. Like it would not stop. And ultimately, in obedience, left the job, started doing this, what you see here, full time, man. So immediately after leaving my job, maybe like 3 weeks later, I had my first speaking engagement and I was like, yeah, nah, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like for it to happen that way, like the doors just opened up like that. Like, come on, man. So in my first speaking engagement, I told y'all, like it was across the street from Norwalk Hospital and I was born in Norwalk Hospital. So it's like to have my physical life be born there and then have my purposeful driven life born in the same place. Like there's meaning in that. And that meant so much to me. And it was the biggest crowd I ever spoken in front of for like that kind of engagement. I've spoken in front of bigger crowds for like other things, but for them to just be there, like, and I'm like a guest speaker, like special guest Jordan Smith, like what? special guest Jordan Smith just feels so much better than youth director Jordan Smith. It's like the people here for me. You feel me? I'm here for the people, but the people here for me. Like it's a special ring to it, man. It feel good. And just to be able to captivate the crowd, motivate people, expand their way of thinking, challenge their way of thinking, lead them in a better direction, let people know they're not alone, like share my story with people. Because one thing I'm gonna do on this platform is get up here and share my story. That's what we gonna do. And other people gonna come up here and share their stories. That's what we gonna do. But that was amazing. And I ended up having 3 speaking engagements this year. And each one just kept building and building and building, and the relationships that have come with it, the joys that have come with it, like it's a feeling unlike any other, walking in your purpose and walking where you're supposed to be walking, man. And walking in your own shoes and not somebody else's. That's even, come on. Like it's a special feeling walking in purpose, man. It's a level of joy that comes with it that is just unmatched, man. So that was that was May. We got the speaking engagements, first of 3. What else? I went to South Carolina for my good friend Martin, man, my brother Martin. We met in high school and we've been boys ever since. That's the fam right there. And his son turned 1. It was his first birthday. So me and my boy Isaiah, we hopped in what was the rental? It was like a Hyundai Santa Fe or something like that. Well, we hopped in there, took off and drove 12 hours to Spartanburg, South Carolina. I didn't even know there was a Spartanburg. It was, it's different out there. It's not for me. I don't see myself packing up and moving to Spartanburg no time soon. No offense to anybody who from Spartanburg, but it's just not for me, man. It's very, it's different. It's a long ways from Bridgeport. I'll tell you that, man. But to be able to, still have friendships are so valuable, man. Like to be friends with people 10 plus years later, and to go from being young kids figuring out life to being fathers and husbands and leaders, like this is really some amazing stuff, man. Like the bonds you have, the friends that stick closer than a brother, man, like that is really important. And if you have a good group of friends in your life, especially ones that keep you accountable and love on you and support you, what? Cultivate those relationships, man. Keep those things going. Don't let that fall off just because y'all had a little disagreement. Somebody wasn't able to show up for your birthday, because I know how y'all be getting about birthdays. Y'all be ready to ruin everything over a birthday because somebody couldn't make it, or please don't go off the deep end over a birthday. But continue to keep those relationships, man. Cultivate those relationships, man. They are so important. And there's going to be those challenging times in your life where, like, you need these people. No man is an island. You're going to need these people at some point. Continue to foster those relationships, cultivate them, man. What else? The fun stuff. Concerts. I went to a couple concerts this year, man. It started with the Breezy concert, my man, Chris Brown. We've had this debate a couple times, and it's still Chris Brown over Usher. They are both living legends in their own right. But Chris don't get the respect he deserves. Usher gets all the credit he deserves. Chris doesn't. Chris is severely underrated, and he's already rated kind of high. Like, Chris is Mr. Brown, my Virginia brother, man. 804. Shout out to y'all, man. But yeah, I went to the Breezy concert. That joint was beyond sold out. I think they sold more tickets than they had capacity, because you couldn't breathe in that joint. Like, you couldn't breathe. I feel bad for whoever was on the lawn tickets, because you was like this. It was wild. But it was him and Lil Baby. That concert was lit. We actually got to see Lil Baby, because it was so much. It was, one, it's chaotic the way the parking is set up. So all the parking was filled. So then you had to park downtown in Hartford and then walk like a mile down the road to go get into the venue. So we all walking down the road to leave the venue to go back to our cars. Lil Baby was in a Sprinter van. He drove by and opened the door, and it was cool, man. We got to see Lil Baby. It was fun. It's easily top 5 concerts I've been to. And then, honestly, the 3 concerts I went to this year are all in my top 5. And I've been to a lot of concerts, but the 3 I went to this year was like, the energy was different. So that was the Breezy joint. Then I went to an Earth, Wind & Fire concert in Bridgeport. What? Them old folks was in there jamming, dog. This is on the 20. They was jamming it. What? Everybody brought out their good wig, the good blouse, the shoes. What? It was a lot of old school players in there, dog. It was lit, man. That was another sold out joint. What? Earth, Wind & Fire was a great concert, man. And then I went to see Kirk Franklin in Maverick City, man, here in Bridgeport. That was different. I knew coming into that was about to be it's art. I want to say it's number 1. I gotta say it's number 1, because the energy in there was crazy, and they performed for like almost 3 hours. It probably was 3 hours. Like, it was like on it. Every song you could think of, they was doing it, man. And the energy in there, the spirit was moving. I was crying. Everybody was crying. People was wilding. I had the floor seat, so I'm here, Kirk right there. I'm like, Kirk, what up? You feel me? So it was fire, man. The energy was crazy, man. The energy was wild. So that's number 1. I gotta say that's number 1. I don't know what number 2 is. Maybe it's Chris Brown. And then Future might be 3. I seen Future twice, and both of them was crazy. But the one in Waterbury was different. Yeah. But yeah, so that was, yeah, a lot of concerts this summer, man. It was fun. And then navigating from there, what else I did? So I started branching out. I was like, I'm doing this full time. I got to branch out. I got to start doing different things. And there was a networking event that took place at this creative space downtown called Moco. I've shouted y'all out a couple times on here, man. If you're not tapped in with them, tap in. It is a great place to get work done. Our docuseries, Love Letter to Black Men, shot there exclusively. So yeah, tap in with them, man. And I went to this networking event, met a lot of cool, dope people. One of them specifically was my boy JR, and that led to another situation where he asked me and a couple other podcasters to come down to, we don't call it a showcase. If you ask him, it's not a showcase, but it's an experience. Let's say that, right? And called Soundcheck, and he's had, I believe, 3 so far. Gonna keep it going, gonna keep it rocking. And that was the night I went in there, and I felt like Kobe when he dropped 81, man. I went in there and did mad interviews, and it was less about coming in there to do mad content, and it was more about, when an opportunity comes, are you going to take it? You know, like, are you going to make the most of the opportunities given to you, or are you going to sit here and try and be selective about every single opportunity you have? And it pushed me out of my comfort zone because I did a lot of interviews with artists that I normally like. I'm not, one thing I try to shy away from is having too many music artists on the platform, because I don't want, it's a lot of like spaces like this that turn into like artist interview spaces, and like I don't want to be that. Like, I don't want to be like a Vlad TV. I don't want to be $1 million worth of game. I don't want to do just mad artist interviews. Like, this is deeper than that. But a lot of artists that I've experienced, like the ones that come on the show, been great. But then the ones that ask to come on the show, a lot of it don't line up with the vision. You feel me? And it's like, I can't do it. So I was hesitant, but I was like, am I going to step into this and make the most of it? Yes. And through cultivating that relationship with him and just continuing to build with him, man, we was able to do something great, make magic happen, man. And I was able to, it was more about adding value. It was more about the fact that like, this is a friend and I'm going to add value to what he's trying to do. It wasn't even about me. You feel me? Like, it was about making sure that something was good for somebody else. And sometimes you got to do that. When you're in a space like this, it's not always about you. Sometimes you got to see where you can help other people and add value to them and help make something better for them. And in turn, it benefits you. if you're being honest about it, in turn, it benefits you. But I was able to meet a lot of dope people. And one of the dopest people I met there was Jasmine, who we've seen on the show. Go back in and tap in with her episode, man. And God knows what he's doing, man. You meet the right people for the right reasons. Because I met her and then we did another episode. And then after doing that episode, it's like, yo, we got to keep working together. So there is more on the way. Stay tuned for it, man. We got something in the works, me and her, man. And it's going to be big. It's going to be major. Like, we're going to continue to do some great things, man, to change lives. But it's coming. And so that happened. Still got more interviews to do from that space, man, like from people I've met and all these different things. It was great. So that took place. And even before that, I walked into that space with a La Russell interview in my back pocket. Y'all have tapped into that interview. It was one of my most watched interviews. It was my first like celebrity interview. Like, I walked into that space knowing nobody really knew me, and knowing what I had in my pocket and knowing who I was. And it's like, I walked into there with that in my back pocket. Like, and I was still like, just here, like none of that mattered to me. It was great that I did that interview with La Russell. Let me start from the beginning with that interview. That started because he was already an artist I loved listening to, right? I wake up, I would go for walks in the summer. I would wake up and listen to his music walking around the block. And I was like, I'm going to interview him one day. I just spoke it into existence. Then I shot my shot through an email. It happened. We did it the same day. It was 3 days before my birthday. And it was like a gift to myself, man. Like, I didn't need nothing else after that. I don't need no cake. I don't need no gift. Like, what? That was it, man. And it was it's like a teaser trailer to what this is going to be. You know, sometimes God will give you the little sample so you can see that it's possible. And then he's like, all right, now let's get back to work. I just wanted to make sure you're still with me. So I'm going to show you a little bit what it looks like, but let's get back to work because more is coming. You got to be ready for it. And it was amazing for me, man, because when you listen to these artists, because everybody's got that artist that like helps change their mindset, impacts their life in a certain way, but you don't always ever really get to talk to them. And like to have that conversation with them, like after the interview cut, we was just chopping it up. And I was like, man, like this is everything, man. When he emailed me back, I cried. I was like, oh, it's lit. It's happening. We doing it, dog. We famous. But and I just waited for the right time to drop it, and it dropped, and it's just been good ever since, man. And you know, it's major because you just showing the people that you can do it. You know, there's a lot of which I'd never really thought I'd experience, but here I am. Because when you're used to being a positive person and a good person, you're not used to getting the hate. And like with that came a lot of love, but it also came with a lot of jealousy and envy. And I'm like, dang, this is crazy, you know? But just showing the people, and it was great for the kids that I worked with, just to show them like, yo, you can do this. You feel me? Like you can do this. And it just means it meant so much, man. It meant a lot. And I love it. And it's the first of many. There's a lot more coming. And with the interviews I'm doing this year, like projecting into 2023, yeah. Yeah. Just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. So yeah, the LaRussell interview was dope, man. That was a gift unto itself. Something I'm gonna cherish for a long time. That took place in one other big thing, checking out my notes. As you can see, and you may have seen it in the clip that I posted on Instagram the other day, I got a new microphone. I said it to somebody else one day. I was like, yo, you notice anything different in the clip? And they just looking and they're like, no. And I'm like, bro, I got a new microphone. Like, I'm using a new microphone. Like, come on. But this unto itself was a birthday gift from my friends, man. They took that time to invest in me, man. And that's major. So I want to shout out y'all, man. Shout out to my friend group. Y'all know who y'all are. And it really means a lot. Like, I'm learning how to receive love and receive gifts. So like my reactions when someone does something super nice for me, like I don't know how to receive it. So I couldn't really give it the reaction that I probably should have given it, but it meant everything in my heart. So I hope y'all see this and y'all know that, man. Like, this was the microphone I always wanted. I knew I was going to get it one day, but it's very much expensive and I was not about to buy it no time soon. But if you know, you know, man, and I love it. It sounds freaking amazing. Yeah, just thank y'all, man. This was everything, man. And this is why I say cultivate friendships. These is people I met. Some of them, man, I can't do math very well, but at least 15 years. Some of them at least 15 years. Hold on. Yeah, 15, going on 16 years for some of them. So it's like, cultivate those relationships, man. Make sure you stay close to people and you there for people in their time of need. Make sure that you really care about the people that you with and be intentional about who you keep around you and who you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with a bunch of losers, you're going to be the next one. And if you surround yourself with a bunch of believers and winners, then you're going to believe and win too. So that was major. And the debut on YouTube, you know, the fact that I'm sitting here looking in this camera right now, this is everything. I had to teach myself how to do this. I had to teach myself a lot of things, man. But YouTube has been a great space for me. Like I've told y'all before, I'm going to lean heavily into YouTube. Instagram is kind of just to let y'all know I'm still alive, but there are a lot of things that's going to take place on YouTube that will only be on YouTube. They won't be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything else. Like this series, A Love Letter to Black Men. It's a Black men's mental health series, and it is doing numbers, and you should listen to it, and then your friends should listen to it, and then your mom should listen to it, and then your kids should listen to it, because that's how impactful it is and that's how important it is. And there is a need for that level of content in this space. When you go on YouTube and type in Black mental health, especially type in Black men's mental health, not much pops up. Type in Black wellness, not much pops up. Type in wellness podcast, nothing pops up. It's crazy. And for this to be such a need in our community, in our world, where people are like killing themselves every day, when people are anxious and frustrated and confused and feel worthless and feel just like they're not getting nowhere and they stuck in the grind and can't do nothing right and nothing is working and I'm trying really hard. In this world where it's that difficult, in this world where the average rent is $2,000, you feel me? Like, there's nothing in there to talk about the stress, nothing. So yeah, no, it's absolutely necessary, man. And there's not enough content in this space. So if you're somebody who really is already in this field, like, start making some content, add to that space. Somebody needs to hear it outside of your clients. So definitely do it, man. Tap into it, and don't do it for the money. Do it for the purpose, man. The money will come after that. But yeah, leaning into YouTube has been amazing, man. And I've been able to grow my audience base. It grows more organically, like the analytics. YouTube is the greatest social media app out there. Don't let nobody fool you. It's not TikTok. It's YouTube. YouTube is crazy. They just don't get the credit they deserve, but we respect you over here. Shout out to y'all, man. So yeah, breaking through that, like, comfort, because when I first started with just the audio, there was a lot of just discomfort. I was like, man, do I really sound like this? I was nervous. You go back to my first episode, you probably hear my voice crack a little bit. shaking and trembling. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then video was different because it's like I'm used to sitting here just talking and I could stare at the paper the entire time. And it's like I'm here with y'all and I try not to, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't even got a paper. It's up here, you know. But yeah, it's a new frontier for me, man. And then having to edit it and do this and do that and play with it, it's been fun, man. And then the last thing I'm gonna get into, right, for this year, 2022, wrapping it up. Therapy has been the greatest thing ever for me, yo. And it's been a journey because I had one therapist and it did not work out. He was dope. He was cool in the beginning, and then something wasn't right. And then eventually it just didn't work out, but I appreciate the time I did have with him. And then I found another therapist who is absolutely amazing. Another black man, you feel me? Healing look like us now, and he checks in on me, man. He communicates well. He's on point. He challenges my way, and I'll be saying stuff, and he's like, "Well, let me challenge that." And I'm like, "Why you want to challenge something right now, bro? Like, why you want to challenge something?" But it's absolutely necessary, man, because I need that. I need people to challenge me in that way, and it's been great, man. Everything about it has been amazing, and it's the same guy who leads the healing group I go to, so it's like I'm with him twice a week sometimes. Like we locked in. You feel me? And that group has been amazing. And the best thing about that men's group that I've been a part of is I was able to bring my friends into it. You know, 2 of my friends showed up and pulled up to that group, and that meant everything. I don't know how much they may have taken from it, but the fact that they showed up and that door was opened, you know, like they can't say I wasn't never exposed to this kind of thing, because now they have been. And then what they do with that from there, you know, hopefully they take it and they run with it. But everybody moves in their own time, heals in their own time, and discovers themselves in their own time, man. And I hope that they continue to do that, man. It was an amazing experience. And that has just been the greatest thing. I started this whole episode saying, you know, it took me 29 years to find peace, and I've been a force ever since. And this was a part of me finding peace, man, through therapy, through groups, through healing, through being intentional about it, through loving myself, through discovering myself, through spending time with God, spending time with myself and my feelings and my emotions. I've become the greatest version of myself I've ever been. You know, like where a lot of people is like, yo, I'm getting older, I'm turning 30, it's all downhill from here. What? The devil is a liar. It's uphill. It's uphill from here. Like my mountain, I have not reached the peak yet. I'm like right here. And I still got to we going to go above the frame up there. Like, you know what I mean? So like the best is yet to come. If you think that your life is over now because you're 30 and you got some kids and a family and that's it, you locked into that, like you're wrong. There's so much more for your life. There's so much more you're going to do. Step into it, man. Step into it. Don't think that, man. But I'm getting better. Yo, I'm getting better with time. Y'all ain't even seen the final form of me yet. It's coming. But yeah, my year has been amazing. It's been filled with a lot of challenges and new ways, but I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm getting better each and every time. And every time I do this wrap up, I'm in a better place every time. It's amazing. Like go back and listen to the other 2. I'm in a better place every time. And I love that for me, man. I even just talking to y'all now, this is what I could sit here and talk to y'all forever. But yeah, so stepping into this year, just one thing I want y'all to know, like all the episodes that are not on YouTube, we're going to take those and put those on YouTube. So every Wednesday you will see kind of like a Daily Dimensions rewind. You feel me? You will see a previous episode that is not on YouTube placed onto YouTube, one that's already out on all the audio outlets, the podcast outlets, but we're going to take it, throw it on YouTube because some people just really like YouTube. You feel me? That's just how some people work. So we're going to take it, we're going to throw it on there. That's going to be Wednesdays. Mondays, obviously, you still going to get the newness. I might throw you a curveball. It's the last day of the year. We gave it to you this day. So, you know, be ready for it at any time. But in all things, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the channel, check out my website, jordanspeaking.com. You can listen to the audio on there as well. You can book me for speaking engagements and continue to be well. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Keep tapping in, keep working, keep grinding. Let's lock in and let this be a year of purpose and intention, man. Let's do that, man. So till next time, this is Daily Dimensions. Peace.